When I finally learned what I'm about to tell you, it completely changed the way that I view and learned history. And honestly, it totally changed how I view the world. So today I'm going to explain to you exactly how years work. The difference between BC, AD, CE, BCE, the origin of this Western system, and what it replaced. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to read historical books, watch anything related to history, and have a much clearer and easier understanding of what they're saying. Welcome to How Years Work, a visual understanding of BC and AD. Really quick, if you're new here, my name is Maddie, and I created this channel to basically just be an outlet for my obsession with prehistory. My main goal is to help make history and prehistory accessible to everyone, not just the academics, because I truly believe that our history belongs to everyone. And if we want to be solving these mysteries, then we need to work together. So make sure to hit subscribe if you're ready to get prehistoric with me. Okay, back to BC and AD and all that. So BC stands for before Christ, and AD stands for Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of our Lord. So AD is everything that happens once Christ is born. BC is obviously everything that happened before Christ was born. A timeline would look like this. We have before Christ on the left, Anno Domini on the right. The years before Christ's birth start at 1 and keep going back forever. So the bigger number, BC, the older. It works the same for years on the other side, starting at AD 1, 2, 3. Right now, we're currently in the AD time. So the bigger year in AD, the more in the future we are. During the time of filming this, we are in AD 2025. There is one slight problem. On a typical number line, you will have 0 in the middle, and you'll have a 1 and a -1. However, there is one slight problem with this visualization. The numerical idea of 0 did not exist in the Western world at this time, which honestly is mind-blowing to think about. 0 didn't exist? What do you mean 0 didn't exist? I have a whole separate video just on that topic, so make sure to subscribe if you're interested. But for now, just remember that the amount of years between 1 BC and 1 AD is only 1 year. Okay, so let's try a little test. Approximately what year would it be if I said something happened 10,000 years ago? It would not be 10,000 BC because we have to account for the 2025 years in AD that we're currently in. So a little trick that I always do is just to subtract 2,000 years to get the approximate years in BC. So if someone is referencing something that's 10,000 years ago, just subtract 2,000 years from that, and you know that it's 8,000 BC. This video is meant to give you just a basic understanding of what someone means when they say 10,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago. Okay, so now it's time to try the 2,000 year method for yourself. Approximately what year was it if I am saying that something happened 5,000 years ago? You don't have to be exact, just be general. I'll give you a minute to think. It was about 3,000 BC. Okay, here's a different test. Approximately how many years ago was the year 4,000 BC? I'll give you a second to think. 4,000 BC was approximately 6,000 years ago. Okay, so now we understand this method and how it works, but where on earth did it come from? And what did they use before it? Well, about 1,500 years ago, a Christian monk named Dionysius Exiguus created the AD system. It replaced an older calendar that was tied to a previous Roman emperor, Emperor Diocletian. Yes, there are many other calendars besides the one we use today, but that is a whole nother video. This monk labeled the year of Jesus' birth as Anno Domini 1, or AD 1. But it's super interesting because the concept of dating years before Christ, or BC, didn't originate at the same time as AD. It wasn't until about 150 years after. Okay. Next, moving on. So what if you are reading a book or watching a documentary and they say this happened in the year 57 CE? What is the E doing here and where's the B? That brings us to the next two terms that you might come across. CE and BCE. CE means Common Era. BCE means before Common Era. And these are simply the exact same things as BC and AD. It's just removing Christianity from it. So CE, Common Era, is the same thing as AD, Anno Domini. BCE, before Common Era, is the same thing as BC, before Christ. So now you know. Okay, last but not least, I really want to share with you a hack. We're going to be talking about centuries. So 1 century equals 100 years. So if someone says the 17th century, what are they talking about? What year? What years are they talking about? Okay, 17th century, 1700s? Nope, that is wrong. I just feel like they're trying to make it super confusing. The 17th century does not equal the 1700s. Get that out of your brain. Get that out of your brain. So when you hear the 17th century, that is actually referring to, there's a pattern here, the 1600s. What is the 18th century? The 1700s. So we're in 2025. That's in the 21st century. And we're going to be in the 21st century until the year 2100. 2100, and then we will enter the 22nd century. So I really hope that this was helpful to you. If it was, make sure to give it a like. On this channel, I'm going to be sharing the epic mysteries, the stories, and the science of the ancient world. So that's why I made this video. It's because I want to make sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say that Göbekli Tepe was created in 11,000 BC. Now you know where on the timeline of the history of the world, where that lies. I want to help make history and prehistory accessible to everyone, not just those in academia. I believe that our past and our history belongs to everyone. So make sure to follow along if you're ready to get prehistoric with me. Did you hear that? The ancient world is calling. We better go.